Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. And if you are joining us for the very first time, welcome to the Most Happening Careers Week, brought to you by GradStar and Leaply, proudly sponsored by Investec. If this is the first time you are joining, I am your host with the most, Alma Akop, aka a voice to be reckoned with, and I am honored and super excited to be hosting the last session of the day. If you have missed out on any of the sessions that have taken place, I hear there's an echo. I can't hear it on my side, so I'll keep going. If you have managed to miss any of the sessions that have already taken place, please do note that they have been recorded and will be available to you on YouTube, so you can check them out over there. Now, without further ado, before I introduce the amazing company that we're going to be speaking to you about, I just wanted to let you know on some prizes that are happening in this whole platform as a whole. So first of all, I would highly suggest and encourage you to create a WOVA profile, because by creating a profile, then all of these companies can have a look at you. If you stand out using the questions, look at who you are, look at your CV, link up to your LinkedIn, and hint, hint, nudge, nudge, something can come out of that. And then also wanted to remind you that in the last session taking place on Thursday, GradStar is going to be giving away YOA Watch Fits, a 500 Rand Nando's voucher, as well as 100 Future Fit assessments with strengths reports for those who stand out in the GradStar session. So do make sure that you are in that session. And now, without further ado, I present to you the Professional Providence Society. Now, PPS is going to be chatting to us about professional personal branding. If you don't know me personally, I'm a voiceover artist, and branding myself and having a professional digital profile is what has managed to make me stand out in an industry that is so packed and full of a wide variety of talented people. So I am very excited for the session, because having a professional digital profile is literally something that we all need as graduates, especially in the digital world that we live in right now. So who better to provide this session to us than the Professional Providence Society. And they're going to be talking about career opportunities, internships, and so much more. So stay tuned, keep those chats going, keep the questions coming through, and make sure that you are tuned into what's happening. So PPS is celebrating their 80th anniversary this year. They were founded in 1941 and are the only mutual financial services company in South Africa that focuses exclusively on graduate professionals, providing tailor-made insurance, investment, and healthcare solutions to their members. PPS has an active presence on most university campuses throughout the country, and many of you have probably encountered them, especially if you are in your final year of study. The three speakers who are going to be presenting to us today from PPS are Kiriboni, Queen, as well as Subashni. And last but not least, more prizes, I know. Please visit the PPS booth and check out all their information, because they're going to be having some really great prizes that are up for grabs today. Just for tuning into this session, just for being present, just for showing up, you have a chance to win 5,000 Rand worth of PPS unit trust. And if you visit our exhibitor booth, or their exhibitor booth rather, in the next few days, you stand a chance to win a daily 1,000 Rand worth of PPS unit trust. I really can't say more. I think that's as hyped as they can be hyped. So without further ado, give virtual hand claps to Kiriboni, Queen, and Subashni from PPS.
Hello, everybody. My name is Giboni Bolofo, and I will be talking to you today. Well, firstly, with me today, I have my colleagues, Subashni. Subashni is the PPS Corporate Social Investment and Senior Manager. She handles our bursaries, university support, and Professionals Connect. So she'll be taking you through all the offerings that the PPS Foundation has to offer you as South African youth. Then we also have my colleague, Queen Gotoi. She has a bachelor degree in economics and philosophy from UCT and a postgraduate diploma in financial planning, UFS. She's been in the industry for over 5 years now and is currently working as a financial advisor for PPS graduate professionals. She is well known for her passionate teaching, for the way she's passionate about teaching her clients how to have a good relationship with money. I will be taking you through how to create a professional and personal branding on your digital platforms. If I could just get a moment of time.
Hey, Kitty Bonnie, are you still with us? Seems as though, if I'm not mistaken, that Kiboni's connection, has dropped off a little bit. So could I please ask Queen or Sebastian if they could step in?
Sure, Hi, yes, I can definitely step in before Kiboni. So I was supposed to go after Kiboni, but I'm sure she can always take over from me. Let me just prepare my screen quickly. So hi, everyone. My name is Queen, as Kiboni introduced me. I'm a financial advisor, and basically my job is today to take you through the Money Matters section of the presentation, where we speak more about how you guys, or what are the things you should put in place to make sure that you manage your money very well. So can you see my screen there, Alma? Is it Alma, Alda?
Yes, I can. It is Alma. I can see your screen perfectly.
Yes, perfect. Okay, so the first topic we'll go through today is budgeting. The second is managing your debt. The third is all about emergencies, and the fourth is investment. So all about money. So Kiboni will take you through the personal branding session. Like Alma said, she's excited about that. So maybe it's a good thing that it will come after me, after we go through all the hectic financial stuff. So budgeting is a means by which we plan for our finances or for our spending, right? And it's very important that we put in a budgeting system in place to make sure that we are adequately, managing our money. It's one of the most foundational ways to ensure that we achieve financial security. So how do we actually budget? So on screen here is just an example of a budget sheet. This is something I can send to you guys. So if you wanted a budget sheet on Excel or on Word document that you can use that looks like this, you can pop your email into the chat box. But how you use this is you basically plan each and every expense that you have or expecting to have throughout the month. So you're sitting beginning of the month, you're saying, I'm going to earn, in your case, it might be 2,000 Rand. And of that 2,000 Rand, I'm going to spend 500 Rand on food, 200 Rand on, traveling to school, 100 Rand on maybe I have an investment, whatever the case may be, and I'll save the rest of the money. Okay, so you would indicate that on your budget, in this case, on the first column, as you can see on screen. On the second column, that's where you'll actually track everything. So this is where you're looking at your receipts, you're looking at, what do they call it, bank statements. So you have to find a way to be able to track your spending as you are going through the month. This is something that's daunting, I understand, because most of us don't actually want to look at our bank statements, but it's very important that we do, because it helps us to be able to see how we are actually managing our money. And then the last step is where we sit now at the end of the month and we're comparing the two things. So we're comparing our initial plan in comparison to how we actually spent our money, and then we can be able to plan going forward. So if, for example, I planned to spend 1,000 Rand on food, and then I realized that I actually spent 1,200 Rand on food, then in the next month going forward, I can be able to adjust my plan and say, oh, actually, I need 1,200 Rand for food, because that's how much I need according to my receipts. Okay, and then we track that. So the goal that you want to achieve when it comes to budgeting is sticking to your budget. And this is something that comes over time. So don't give up if you don't get it in the first couple of months. Okay, second topic, as I said, managing your debt. Now, most of us might have to engage with debt sometime in our life because there are purchases that we would like to have that do require us to get into debt. So things like buying a house, for example. So what we do with this topic is we categorize it into three different categories. The first category is good debt. So good debt is any debt that you invest in for the sole purpose of getting an asset that's going to grow in value over and above the debt that you have paid. So an example of this is a house. When you're first getting the house, the value of the debt is usually higher than the value of the house. But as you're paying off the debt, the value of the house goes up and the value of the debt goes down. Another example of this is a business loan. If you go to your father, for example, you say, hey, can you please loan me 500 Rand? I'd like to start a business. And then as you are obviously paying off the business loan to your dad, your business is actually growing in value and becoming more profitable, and therefore make sure that you have invested that money towards what we call a good debt. Second category, neutral debt. Neutral debt is a debt where you are investing towards something that is going to improve the quality of your life. It's not necessarily going to grow in value. So an example of that is a car. So we all know that a car, the more we drive the car, the less the value of the car, right? So the higher the mileage on a car, the less the value of the car. So the car itself does improve the quality of my life because obviously I can get to work on time, I can travel between cities. Some of us have got families in other cities. It really does improve our lives to have a car, but you obviously are getting a debt. So that's why we call this a neutral debt. Another example of this is building a credit score, student loans, and then bad debt. So bad debt has everything to do with the intention behind the debt. So why are you getting the debt? Okay, so things like greed. So for example, not wanting to wait until you can afford it. You know, I really want these shoes now, so I'm going to use my credit card. I don't want to wait until I can afford it, or I don't want to save towards it. That's a bad reason to use debt. Second, conspicuous consumption. So wanting to show off, for example, to people that, oh, I've just graduated and I got my first job. That is a bad reason to engage with debt. And then also debt that you can't afford. So there's a fine line here between neutral debt and bad debt. Even a car, for example, that you get that you can't afford, where when you look at petrol, you look at insurance, you look at maintaining, all of this starts to become too much for your budget. That can also be categorized under bad debt. So those are the things that make a debt bad, is the intention behind it, as well as whether you can't. Okay, so that's all about debt. If you guys have any questions around it, please pop it in the chat box. We have people who will answer them for you. Okay, and the third topic, planning for emergencies. Now, this for me is highly, highly important because if we don't plan for our emergencies, right, anything that happens in our lives that swerves our finances in the wrong direction can badly affect our goals going forward. So there are two main ways that we plan for emergencies. The first is insurance. Now, insurance is basically a plan that we get into with an insurance provider or insurance company like PPS, where we say, okay, PPS, will you pay me R1 million in the event that I pass away so that my family can be taken care of? Or PPS, will you cover my medical bills if I get into an accident so that I can be able to be treated by the doctors? Okay, so those are all insurances. There are different kinds of insurances out there. It's just very, very important that we consider putting them in place because there are things that we cannot plan for, like accidents and diseases, that insurances can really help us to have a plan for. Okay, if you want to know more about all the insurances that PPS has available, again, please drop your email in the chat box and then we'll be able to email you all that information. Next session, is the emergency funds. This is another way that we use in order to plan for our emergencies. So things like a burst hire, things like having to travel to Eastern Cape for a funeral, all of a sudden, All of these things can badly affect our finances if we don't plan for them, right? So all these emergencies are things that happen to anybody, and it's very important that we do have some kind of cushion in place to help us to deal with those emergencies. So again, we don't run to the bank to make a loan in order to pay for them. So how do you structure emergency fund? We recommend that it's separate from all your other savings, that it's accessible easily, that it's not put into a risky investment, and also that it's earning interest. So please don't go and put it underneath your bed. Okay. Then the last topic of the day, saving and investing. Okay, so there are two golden rules that I'm going to cover with you guys. It doesn't matter what goal you have. Right now, as a student, you might say, look, I don't know anything about saving and investing. I don't even have any goals in place. All I will say to you is that even if you have the goal to one day be able to not work and still be able to sit at home and earn an income, earn a passive income, or right now you want to put money away because you want to travel next year, or you want to start with 50 Rand a month, whatever that is, these two golden rules apply to you. The first is you need to start as soon as possible. So if you're that person who wants to travel next year, or you that person who wants to do something in 5 years' time, if you start as soon as possible, you'll be able to achieve that. So we have two examples here, John and Peter. So John started at the age of 25, and Peter started at the age of 35. Both John and Peter were investing towards retirement. Okay, so they both invested the same amount of money. So John invested 1,000 Rand, Peter invested 1,600, same interest rate. So the same return, which is 6%, and the increase in their investment is also 6%. Okay, so you'll see here by John, it says, let me try to get a laser pen that you got, 1,689. The reason for that is it's been adjusted by inflation. Now, this is a long topic, but the most simplest way to explain to you is that this is 1,000 Rand 10 years later than John. Okay, so because Peter started 10 years later than John, he actually got out 3.5 million at retirement. And John got out 5 million at retirement. So Peter actually lost 1.5 million, all because he started 10 years later than John did. Okay, so start as soon as possible. Second rule is you need to start with as much as possible. So sacrifice a little bit more. Instead of putting 50 Rand, for example, towards your goal, maybe try putting 100 Rand, sacrificing that McDonald's or that next cup of coffee for your goals. Another example is John and Peter again. They again saving towards retirement. John started with 1,000 Rand a month. Peter started with 2,000 Rand or 2,500 Rand a month. They both started at the same age. They retired at the same age, which is the age of 65. And the investment return, so the interest they received was the same, which is 6%. But now Peter actually invested 2.7 million Rand more than John, but he got 7.4 million Rand more than John. Okay, seems very unfair, right? Because he only invested 2.7 million Rand more, but he got 3 times more than John at retirement because of that. And that is the power of what we call compound interest. When you're sacrificing a little bit more, you are able to gain a lot more in future. So if you guys have the desire to invest in any way or engage in any kind of investment, or you just want to know more, how can you as a student, engage with investments, please leave your email in the chat box. We are here to help you with that information. What I will tell you already, as a student, you can invest, you can have insurances. All of these things are very possible, and PPS has student products for you guys and has graduate advisors like myself helping students on every campuses across the country to make these kinds of decisions for their finances. Okay, that's it from me. I think I'll hand over. I don't know if Kiboni is back. If not, I'll hand over to Subhashini.
Thank you, Queen. I think that was absolutely fantastic. I wish I had a financial advisor much earlier in my age. Right now I look at all the situations and I think I could have used with that. I could have done with that. So I'm just going to start sharing. Kibone, you can please tell me whether you can start seeing the presentation.
Yes, I can.
You can.
Just have it in full screen.
Sure.
Hi, Subhashni. So we were able to see your presentation, but we can no longer see it anymore. Just wanted to make sure you're aware.
Sorry, are we sorted out? I mean, it seems as though every time that we want to share our presentation, it's kicking us off the website. But let me go through it, and I'll take you through the presentation. Let's just hope it's going to work. I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to try one last time. Please bear with me. I won't be long. Okay, can you all see my presentation?
Yes, perfect.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to take over from Kibone. It seems as though that it's the presentation that we have is just not working out. So I'm not going to see if there's any hands or any questions, but I'm going to take you all through to your personal branding. So the lady that you all are all looking at right now is the lady that sits across the table from all of you when you come in for your interviews. I am the one that looks at all your CVs. I look at your qualification. I even go through all the information that you have digitally. Okay, you might think, do people really have the time to have a look at that? I mean, to go through your profile, your social media sites, but we do, by the way. And I'm going to take you through, and I want to speak you through your personal branding as to how it can impact you and the workplace. Okay, so So what is the definition of your personal branding? So personal branding, we all know, is the unique combination of your skills and the experience that makes you who you are. Your personal branding is unique, okay? Nobody would have the same brand as you do. And you need to ensure that the brand that you put out there is going to differentiate.
Hi, Sebastian. Sorry, the presentation is not moving. I think you need to go into slideshow.
I am in slideshow. Escape.
It's not showing our side.
Is it not your? Okay,
not slide.
Okay, then you know what I'm going to do? I'm not going to show you all the presentation. I'm going to speak you all through the presentation. Is that okay? Okay.
It should be okay. Kiboni sent it to me, so I'm trying to open it. If I can share it, then I'll just share it. But yes, you can continue.
Okay, thank you so much. I do apologize for all of this, guys. We're definitely a professional company. This is not how we do things. But
not a problem. It's a digital age, and we're all learning.
I know. So I was going to show you a few screens and to be able to. So if by some chance you have to think about Coca-Cola, you think of Facebook, you think of Microsoft, McDonald's, you would think, I know that brand. Okay. So when we talk about personal brand, we don't only talk about what a corporate has, we talk about what you as an individual has. So when you think of Coca-Cola, you think, oh my word, all I want to do right now is quench my thirst. Okay, when you think of McDonald's, you think, I'd like to have that chili cheese fries, please. You know, it's going to satisfy my appetite. Whereas you've got to understand that it's taken these organizations many years to be able to develop that positive brand image that they have around the world. So what we are saying to individuals and the youth, the youngsters, is that start building your brand from an early age. The quick question that I would like to ask everybody is, if I had to Google your name today, Okay, what would I find? So if you had applied for a job at PPS and you want to join the graduate program, and I would say, okay, fine, I have two identical CVs. Both of them studied at the University of Stellenbosch or UCT. Both of them did human resources. Both of their academic results are the same. They're around 70, 75% overall. Who do I choose? Okay, do I choose A or do I choose B? And when we are in that dilemma, that's when we would say, okay, fine, let's go and find out what's on this person's digital platform. And that's when we have a look at what your platform looks like. So if there's anything that you think that is not, it's untowards to preventing you from finding a job, from finding opportunities, please guys go ahead and clean up your digital platform. It is very important. So when I Google your digital platform, if I go into your Facebook, Instagram, what would I find? Okay, would I find a strong focus on your social life? Are they going to, is there any part of your social network that's going to tell me whether you've aligned yourself with an association or the interest of your profession? Or does your page show the interest and activities that you want for your future career? Are you working on, are you a person that goes in and when you see anything that's on a political side or a topic on religion, are you one that contributes to that in a positive manner? Whatever you say on your digital platform, do you believe that it's going to impact your future? Before you ink it, please think about what you're going to say. It is very, very important.
Sorry to interrupt you, Subhashini. I just wanted to let you know that the slides are working from Queen's side, so we can see the slides.
Oh, can you all see the slides? So I can walk through that. Okay. So
yes,
clear.
from Queen's screen. So not the slides on your screen. We can see the slides on Queen's screen.
Okay. Thank you, Queen. Queen, can
Awesome.
you go to the next slide, please? Okay, so now we've spoken about if I have to go into your digital platform, either Facebook, anything is on social media, you're going to go in and you're going to have a look and you're going to audit your result. Please go in and see, is there any information there that can impact on your future? So is there something of you having a party where you have a drink in your hand and you've got a bottle on the other and you're like taking off and dancing all untowards the work environment in your social life? We know this happens. Is that the image that you want your future employer to know? Okay, so clean up your content. Also know who you want to be, know the image that you want to portray. Build a positive presence that reflects exactly who you are and what you want to achieve in your future. Very important. It's also important that you would go into different sites that's going to be positive for you. So I'd like to ask a question from everybody. I'd like to hear a response. How many of you have LinkedIn? Have you all registered on LinkedIn? Okay, please do that. Queen, can you move to the next slide? Is it stuck again? There we go.
It's there.
Thank you. Thank you. So we talk about building credibility. We've got to repeat that word. Build credibility, people. So one day you cannot be this happy-go-lucky person, and then the next day you go about, I broke up with my boyfriend and I feel that life is all over. You don't, that's not for positive. That is not for social media. That is something that you are going through on your personal life. Keep it personal because things can change at any time. Okay. The next thing that we talk about is your effective personal branding. So determine who your gatekeepers are. This means that I could be your gatekeeper, right? I'm that person that reviews your bursary application. I'm that person that will review your CV. I would be a gatekeeper to you. Okay. When you're applying to different universities, they could be your gatekeeper. So we have gatekeepers, and make sure that your gatekeeper is the person that's going to be able to open up opportunities for you. So have an image that people would want to associate with. They are the ones that will be able to help create opportunities for you. Okay. Queen, the next slide. There we go. So we talk about nurturing your brand. If you have to think about McDonald's, and I say McDonald's because I know that's one of the favorite meals for university students. It's convenient. When you think of it, did not take McDonald's overnight to create that awareness and that brand for people to know exactly what they offer, the quality of their food, if you can call it quality. I'm much older, so I would question the quality because I think more about the health part of it. But when you associate yourself with McDonald's, you think of McDonald's, you know it's the yellow sign. There's Ronald McDonald, that yellow and red individual, but there's burgers, there's fast food, it's quick, instant gratification for you. But there's also that comes the negative part of it, and something that we need to consider is that how healthy is it? But what I'm saying is, and what I'm trying to reiterate to all of you is that look at yourself today and see what your goal is to become in the future. You cannot wake up one morning and decide, I want to become a marketer, I want to become an accountant, I want to be a doctor. You must know that your reputation precedes who you want to be. Okay, be it on a digital platform, be it in a networking session, be when you're going out and engaging with other people. The one thing that I'd like to say that networking, take into account that it's not only you being invited to an event like this that you are networking. Networking can occur when you are having a braai with your friends. Networking can occur when you are walking in the university and you are trying to build relationships with your friends. You do not know who your friends know. You do not know who your lecturers know. They are your network. The one thing that our CEO keeps reiterating, build strong, solid relationships with people in your own age group, because the older people that you think that's going to take you far in your career, we're not going to be there for too long. We will retire long before you are ready to retire. So it's your colleagues in your same age group that you party with, that you engage with, that you study with, is going to get you to where you need to get to. Ask questions, find out what parents do, find out what your lecturers do, find out if they have associations that they can refer you to so that you can become part of an association. But remember, that depends on how you network, how you engage, and how you build a reputation for yourself. Okay, the next screen, please. So the one opportunity that PPS offers to all graduates and non-graduates and people that are studying from their first year or even while they're in matric, is our Professionals Connect platform. I will speak to you about the different programs, and I'll speak to you about the digital platform that we have that's going to help you find mentors, find jobs, and to register your CV, and so that you would be able to attend a full, robust Leap Work Readiness program. So the next digital platform that I did ask earlier on is that who has a LinkedIn profile? Okay, so when you are looking at your LinkedIn profile, use it so that it's going to advance your career. Use it so that you can find a job, that you can engage, and you can also connect with different companies that you believe that's going to be able to take you far in your career. Okay, that is a platform that ensure that your CV on LinkedIn is professional, have a clear objective, ensure that you describe what your passions are, what achievements that you have made at the university. Make it so that develop it so that people would want to read it. And we'll give you some examples of what your LinkedIn profile should look like. Thank you, Queen. The next screen. Okay, so this is an example of what we've took from LinkedIn. Okay, you can see it's simple. You can have a picture. Please, guys, we've seen pictures of people in many dresses with crop tops on their LinkedIn profile looking for an attorney job. Okay, are you going to attend court dressed like that? LinkedIn is a professional digital platform. Ensure that when you have your profile picture, ensure that it is professional. Have your name, your surname, your role. You could be a student or you could be a job seeker. It's your decision. Just a basic objective of who you are and what you would like to achieve. Queen, can you take us through to the next one? So this is an organization's LinkedIn profile. As you see, if you do have a good LinkedIn profile, you would be able to find job opportunities there. This is a company that's advertising for a job. They are looking for a system analyst, and it's easy to apply. So you can associate yourselves with different companies. The next platform, the next screen, please. And this is the third one that we're showing. Can you see? It's sleek. It's clean, it's professional. It tells you about the university that you studied at. It tells us what type of qualifications you have, which associations you have been attached to. So these are the examples of what a LinkedIn profile should look like. Now, the next screen I'd like you to have a look at. I'm going to quickly go through this because I know for a matter of time. Quickly read it through. I need employment. I'm not pregnant. I do not have a baby recently or ever. And I'm not going to have one anytime soon. I'm not married, dating, or engaged. I have no obligations, nothing in this world. This is a live LinkedIn profile, people. This is what people are putting in their digital platform. I want to know your thoughts. I can see some laughter there. No, let me know your thoughts. Put some notes in your put some comments in our comment box. Hey, and then they said, this was a classic, right? I qualify for unemployment since LG fired me erroneously. But after less than a month, government is refusing to grant me unemployment, claiming LG saying I quit, which is a lie. What is this person doing? One, they're giving us far too much information. We do not need to know whether you're a mom or a dad or you have a baby in the career environment. That should not affect whether you get the job or not. That's personal. You need to know who you are and what you are capable of doing. Whether you are married or not married, it's not that important. It's not important because for you to perform as an individual or an employee in a company. Now you're going and saying bad things about LG. LG is a world-renowned company. Guys, do not let that's dirty laundry. Now, if somebody has to read this, if I have to read this and I'm recruiting, I would not want this individual to be part or associated of the organization that I work, because what's going to stop her from putting PPS on LinkedIn? Hey? So think about this. I'd like to know your thoughts on this, a real live LinkedIn profile, by the way. The next screen, Queen, look at this. I recently lost my job just before lockdown, and getting rejection after rejection has made securing employment not easy. I have 8 years of total work experience. I have a BTech in logistics management and management assistant qualification with logistics assistance, debtors control, telesales, and marketing experience. I'm currently looking for employment in and around Gauteng in the logistics field. Your assistance will be highly appreciated. Hey, this is another LinkedIn profile, a person that's looking for a job. He's pleading with the heart. He's not being too personal. He's being professional. He's looking for a job. Okay, and by him looking for a job, all he's doing is he's trying to create opportunities for himself, because that is a space that he's found that he can, and LinkedIn is a space that you can look for jobs. Okay. Queen, the next, okay, so we do have a video, and I'm not too sure whether the video is the one that's affecting this entire presentation. What I will do is, Queen, you want to try and see if you can play it on your side before I go in?
Yeah.
Okay. It's the sound, Queen. Are you getting the sound?
Okay, let me.
So we can see the video, but we can't hear anything.
Okay,
but
what we will,
I'll
Sure.
just try to share the sound this time.
Okay. So while Queen is trying to get the sound ready, I want to give you a full overview of what the PPS Foundation does. So as I was introduced earlier on, I am the Corporate Social Investment Manager for the PPS Foundation. Okay, so the PPS Foundation, you can play it after I've done the foundation presentation, Queen. Is that okay?
Not a problem.
Thank you. Okay, so the foundation, the PPS Foundation, was established in 2016, and we are here to help transform the social economic developments in South Africa. So our aim is to improve access to the STEM qualifications, which is science, technology, engineering, and maths. But we don't only follow that. We do have LLBs, we do have humanitarian qualification. And the different programs that I run and I manage is our bursary program, our graduate program, university support, Professionals Connect, and our Leap Work Readiness program. So I'm sure you all want to hear about our graduate program and our bursary program. I'll start with the bursary program. So our bursary applications they open up between September and October. We have quite a robust bursary opportunity where we fully fund students with their tuition, accommodation, meals, books, 3G cards, laptops if required. We will, once you become a PPS bursary holder, we will ensure that we will fund you right up until your honors level. There's a few criteria that you would have to follow. You would have to have an academic average of 65% and above. You would have to have a household income of up to 600,000. So we also help the missing middle, because we know that NSFAS and government fundings go up to 350,000. So we would cover right up until 600,000 Rand. I said, and it's all public universities. It is for South African citizens. We work with the youth of South Africa from age 19 to age 35. If you have any questions around bursaries, you're welcome to put that on the comment block, and I will respond to it there. I'm sure you'll do have a lot of questions on that. Our graduate program also our vacancies opened around September, October. We advertise all our vacancies on our digital platform, which is called Professionals Connect, and I'll tell you a little bit about that. We have a 12-month program which starts generally. So we start with that generally on the 1st of February. It's a robust program where we offer you soft skills, which means that you will get your emotional intelligence, personal mastery, how to present well, how to be a speaker. We also partner with the University of South Africa and the Thabo Mbeki Foundation, and we provide a qualification which is called Thought Leadership Through Africa's Renewal. The reason why we go through that is because we want you to stop looking inwardly, but to look outward, and not just in South Africa, but Africa as a whole. The one thing that we can guarantee you that if you are successful part of the graduate program is that you will be employable after that program is done. You might not be able to have, we might not be able to keep all our graduates, but you will be employable outside of PPS as well, because that's how robust our program is. The next program that we manage is our university support. I'm sure that a lot of you who are at University of Wits and Stellenbosch, you will see our lounge there. We also work with Nelson Mandela University, where we did the Moot courtroom. So there's a whole lot of stuff that we would do at the universities that benefit students 100%. Last year, our key focus was in supporting universities getting their students digital devices, which means that they would be able to work on the hybrid model online with 3G cards. So that's how we supported the universities last year. And we provided them with personal protective gear. Guys, the one thing that I cannot stress enough to you, if you take anything away from my presentation, is Professionals Connect. please go and register yourself on Professionals Connect. There's lots of opportunities there. You will gain lots of communication from PPS and the PPS Foundation. You will be able to have access to our financial advisors, our graduate financial advisors, should I say. So the likes of Queen and her team, they will be able to help you with all your money matters, with your budgeting, with becoming a member of PPS. And you know what, if you require any savings or products, they definitely are the people to speak to. And then the last program that I need to speak to you about is our Leap Work Readiness Program. Our Leap Work Readiness Program is what you've seen now, but on steroids. Okay, so if you want to be part of the Leap Work Readiness Program, register through Professionals Connect, and we will send you invites as and when we will have our programs. We will be doing it virtually as well as face to face. So Elma, you're welcome to contact me if you would like to partner on that. But I mean, just to wrap it up before we end up with the video, guys, please beware of what you put out there on social media. Okay. Also, when you are in social events, yes, have fun. You are young, enjoy life, but be careful because it can impact your future. It's important that you all learn to save at an early part of your life. So please engage with us. We do have an exhibitor platform that you can be a part of, and let us know. Reach out to us, and we will definitely come back to you. And yeah, but before you put anything on social media, always say. I mean, Kiboni and I had a laugh yesterday. What would your mother say? Okay, what would your granny say? What would your Oma say? And ask yourself that question first before you put it on social media, because what's online cannot be deleted and it can impact you either positively or negatively. Okay, but thank you so much for the opportunity. We are going to be open to questions after we show you this video. It's just something for you to think about. Thanks, Queen.
Thank you so much, Subhashini. Queen, if you are struggling with the video, I do know that Peter has it as well. So if there are issues on this side, he'll just be happy to play it from his side.
No, I think it's the sound.
Okay.
Sorry, I was on mute. Is still no sound?
No sound.
No sound, yeah.
No sound? Okay. Peter can play it then. I'll stop sharing.
Cool.
I'm seeing some of the comments there. I'm going to try and go through some of the comments while we're waiting. It's
no sound also.
No. I like the name.
Try one last time.
Sure, thank you.
Okay.
I like Danae's one. If your mama don't like it, then don't post it. That's very true.
Yeah, 100%.
So we're nearly there. Let's try one last time.
No.
Still nothing, Pete.
We will share the video on in our booth. Is that okay? Then everybody can get to see it.
Yeah, that would be great. Thank you so much, Subhashini, Queen, and Kiboni, even though we didn't see much of you for such an insightful session. Just a few things that I've gathered. I mean, we started off with a Finance 101 lesson, which was excellent. Learning about good versus bad debt, emergency planning. Timber had a really great little quote where he said, "The only certainty is uncertainty," and that's 100% true. Then we learned about personal branding and how to audit the results on your Google search screens, because like Subhashini said, companies really are interested in what you're posting on a daily basis. So be aware of that when you go out for the jolls at the nights and you decide to post that on your professional profiles as well. And also how you want to be known as. And I think this is really important for a platform like LinkedIn, where a lot of people were asking questions of how to use LinkedIn, how to stand out in LinkedIn. And I, for example, am very interested in the presenting news reporting space. And so in LinkedIn, I follow news reporters. I follow BBC, CNN, and all of them, because those are the people that I would like to become. So it's important to not only network generally, but have targeted networking when you are doing that. And lastly, building credibility. So we have just a few minutes left, and I'm just going to run through some questions for you, Subhashini, if you don't mind. First thing that people would like to know is LinkedIn and professional etiquette. So how do you know how to separate between posting professional etiquette and just posting a selfie which you thought looked really nice? Because now our days on LinkedIn, you do see quite a lot of selfies, and not as, professional content is there as well, but people are starting to show their personality. So should you be taking selfies on LinkedIn, or should you only be focusing on your professional side of things?
I've also seen a lot of selfies that are coming off, but what type of selfies are there? Selfies that you are graduating, selfies that you've got the job, selfies that you are helping somebody out, because they were battling to pass that last exam so that they could get their degree. So you need to choose what type of selfies you are going to put on LinkedIn, because it is a professional platform. And so if you're going to put one of you're dressing up for a party, a night out on the town with the skimp, you look as sexy as can be, makeup to the T, hair done, but is that appropriate to be in that platform? It does not, we're not going to define you as that person, but choose which platform you want to have what selfie on. So just think about it.
Yeah,
definitely.
No, I agree with you 100%. And I mean, there's different social media platforms for different bases. We don't really say it, but Twitter is an opinion platform. Twitter is where people put their opinions out there, whether they are educated or not, but that's what happens on Twitter. Instagram is a lot more to do with photos and visual content, the selfies that we speak of. And then LinkedIn is to deal with the professionals. So even if you are taking a selfie, it's a graduation selfie. So learn how to use all your platforms to your advantage. It doesn't mean that you need to now become someone else on social media. It just means understand what to post where, and how to basically draft your post. Another question that just popped up, which is really interesting, is I'm not sure if LinkedIn does this, because I don't have that function, but I know Instagram has a private function where you can make your account private and not many people can access it. So is that a benefit or a negative? Because it can come across as though you are hiding something, plus it makes it hard for people to actually view your content. So what's your advice on making your account private?
It all depends on which digital platform you're talking about yet again. Okay. So with me, my Facebook is private to my connections and people that I want to befriend. My WhatsApp is the same, because I choose who want to see my status updates or my picture. LinkedIn is more of a public, because I know that the work that I do impacts the youth of South Africa. So I want people to see the work that because I represent PPS. So LinkedIn, I will only have my work information on there. So there it's okay, because when I post on behalf of PPS. So I'm a representative of PPS. I would watch what I'm saying there. So you choose what type of it, and it's not hiding, because it's very difficult to have a break between your professional and personal life. Okay. It's hard, because when we're having family functions, we are going to take our pictures and we want to put them on Facebook, because that's how we interact with our family outside of South Africa or outside of where we stay. So yes, know the consequences. Always consider the consequences of what you have. And if you have it on private, know that it's only your circle of friends that can see it. But if you have it on the public, you need to know that whatever you do put in, you are airing your life on this platform.
Mhm. Yeah.
So, yeah.
I agree with you 100% in that regard. So I've got one more question in regards to personal branding, and then two more in terms of finance, just letting you know, Queen, so that you are there and ready to answer those questions. So with personal branding, let's say you made a really bad decision in 2018 and you posted something, and now every time you search Elma Akob, that's the first thing that pops up on Google. How do you deal with that? Do you need to delete it? Is there any way that you can audit the Google search to, put up your LinkedIn profile first and then all the other dodgy things much later? Or how do you go about that?
I don't know. Honestly, don't know, because I did
Yeah.
when I was working with Kibona on this presentation, and I did Google my name, and but thank God my LinkedIn profile came out first, and then also all the other events that I've attended was there. So I was like, okay, my Facebook was right at the bottom. I think it's also what is where you are most active on, so that's going to come up above any other system. What you've done in 2018, know that yes, try and delete it to bring it down, but what's online is alive, hey? Even if you bring
Yeah.
it out. If somebody just has to like a comment, put a heart to it or a tick to it, it's living forever and ever and ever, because
Yeah.
you might have the personal, you might have the confidentiality on your setting, but the person that liked it
They might.
does not, and it lives and it trails on to them. So, yeah, there's consequences, hey. But I mean, if it has to come up in a conversation, like if you're in an interview and if they checked that you've done something very bad in 2018, don't go out and say, okay, before you interview me, I've done something bad in 2018. No,
Yeah.
be open, be honest, and only if they ask you about it, then will you bring it to their attention. As long as it's not illegal, that you would have to declare, but try and remove it if possible. But it's never going to
Yeah.
go away fully,
I,
unfortunately.
I agree with you. I mean, it's 2021, so it's important that we are sensitive and we are cognizant about the things that we are putting out there, because social media can make you or break you in the society that we currently live in. And I mean, this is one last one. It just popped up. It was by Ponatejo, and she's saying that, can posting opinions regarding controversial issues negatively impact future employment? So when do
How
you know when to talk and when to just let it go?
just let it go. It's always better to just let it go. And the
Yeah.
reason why I say that is because we all have opinions, right? And we
Mm.
all rant and rave to our family and our friends and our colleagues. And that conversation ends there unless someone's recording you. Um,
Mm.
Controversy follows you. Okay, what if you were saying something, and I gave Kibone this example, is that what if you gave on what's happening at the Gaza Strip at the moment, right? You either liked it or disliked it, or you went and said something very ugly about a specific religion because that's your opinion, and the person that is interviewing you has a family member there, or is
Yeah.
following that religion, or is that person has the decision, the gatekeeper to your future is now aware of what your opinion is. That can impact, we are human, it's going to impact the opportunities that you might have. So think again and think more before you put it on social media.
Mm. Thank you so much for that, Savashni. And I think everyone make sure you do follow Savashni on LinkedIn, because like she said, she is the gatekeeper. So if that's someone you want to be connected to. And then just a few questions in regards to the finance side of things. People want to know, they've heard about these amazing prizes of winning 5,000 Rand worth in PPS unit trusts, as well as the 1,000 Rand. And they just want to know, what are PPS unit trusts? So I don't know, Queen,
Okay.
if you could answer that for me.
Yeah, sure. So a unit trust fund is a collective investment scheme where they basically pool people's investments into one fund, and that fund is managed by an asset manager. So how I like to explain it to my clients in layman terms is it's it's Almay's 100 Rand, it's Sebastian's 100 Rand, it's Queen's 100 Rand. We all put this in a fund, and then we give that fund to a company. For example, we say PPS. There are other asset managers people might have heard. I'm sure you guys have heard of Alan Gray or Investec. Those are all asset managers. Those companies, their responsibility is to take that 300 Rand and to asset classes that is going to help that 300 Rand grow in value. So that is what a unit trust is. They basically pull people's money together in order to invest the money to grow the value of it. Yeah, hopefully that answers that.
It does. Thank you so much. And I think if people have more questions, they can always visit the PPS booth and ask questions there. Secondly, and just before we close off, we live in a digital age where there's Forex, there's Bitcoin, and all the other coins that come up every day. People want to know, how should you invest as a young person? Where do you start? How do you make money work for you? Because there's just so many things out there telling you, invest here, invest there, put your money in this. So what are the same options? Where should we start?
Yeah, I think the best place to start is to get the information, is to understand, do the research. And the best way to do that is sit with a professional financial advisor who knows exactly what they're talking about, who's experienced, who's helped many people invest. So like we said, PPS has a bunch of financial advisors in each of your campuses that you guys can engage with, and it's for free. So you can leave your email address and mention in the chat box, I need a financial advisor. That's the first thing. The second thing is, there are so many nowadays, like you said, Alma, we're very lucky to have information at our fingertips. So do your research, watch, there's some courses online on investing. Take some time before you go into any investment. Start with saving, because there's a difference between saving and investing. Saving, you basically are putting money aside, grow for a specific goal. When you invest, you're actually buying a specific asset. So you can invest in property, you can invest, in this case, we've said in unit trust, you can invest in shares, you can invest in bonds. There are a whole lot of different asset classes. So the first thing is, if you want to invest, start with saving. I'm not saying don't save until you know what you are saving towards. Save, even if you're saving in the bank, right? And then do your research, and then you can then at that stage invest your money when you know this is the best investment strategy for me.
Thank you for that, Queen. So do your research, take investing as though it is a module that you are doing at university. Do your research, attend your lectures, get to know what you're doing. Don't just listen to someone saying, put your money in this, and be aware of where you are putting your money. Lastly, as young people going into the working sector, we have been told that we need a credit score. How? How are we supposed to build a credit score?
Yeah. So I think the best way is you can open a small account. So the thing with a credit score is you don't need to have a large sum of money that you've taken out from the bank. It can be a small account. If I can make an example of me, when I was at UCT, I had a 300 Rand credit card with ABSA. So they gave me access to that as a student. That helped me build my credit score at that stage. So you don't need, you can have a clothing account, again, just 500 Rand. The most important thing is to have credit activity. It's not about the amount of money that you are spending, it's about the activity. So you can be spending 100 Rand on your credit card a month, as long as they're seeing that you are paying the money every single month. That is how you build it. And the one thing to note is that, again, it's not for you to spend on the credit card or on that clothing account excessively. It's simply for the sole purpose of growing your credit score.
Awesome. Thank you so much, to Subhashni and to Kiboni, for what an amazing session brought to us by PPS. For those who have been asking, you can find the PPS booths if you visit the exhibitors. It should be on the left side of your screen where it says exhibitors. Click on PPS and you will have access to the booth over there. Please also note that you have the opportunity of winning 5,000 Rand worth of PPS unit trusts, as well as 1,000 Rand worth of PPS unit trusts. And these winners will be announced on Monday, the 31st of May. It has been an awesome day. I have learned a lot. I have a notebook full of notes. So thank you so much to GradStar and Leaply for organizing Careers Week. This is just day 1, which means there's so much more to come. And I do hope that you guys will stay tuned for day 2 and day 3. Remember, in the last session, GradStar will also be giving away some crazy prices. Huawei watch fits, Nando's vouchers, 500 Rand. That's Nando's for the rest of your life. As well as 100 future fit assessments. Also tomorrow, kicking off at 9 a.m., we will be going live with Momentum, and stay tuned for them as well because they have some awesome prizes to give out. Yeah, it's been a great day. Enjoy your Africa Day. Eat some African cuisines and